talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Make sure you guys hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you cut that down or go over there on the other side. Put that down, please. Welcome in, everyone. Hope everybody having a good Friday. It's Friday, guys.
And today we're doing Mommy, you're getting on that last night. I don't handle it too bright. Mom, what am I drawing?
Huh?
What am I drawing?
Hey, Reese.
Hey,
Angie. How y'all doing? Thank you guys for coming in. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you guys enter in. If you want to share me out, guys. I definitely want to say this, guys, on tonight. If you can't do anything on tonight, guys, pray. Pray for. I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna move on. There recently was a gag order placed for both sides of the J for J, I Stand with Kia. Please pray, ask for peace, ask for God to reveal the truth, whatever the truth may be. I do want to let you guys know that, no matter whose side you're on, I'm good, thank you. No matter whose side you're on, their people's lives are going to be forever changed. I do want to let you guys know that. But there is a gag order placed. Neither side will. The judge today said that they cannot speak or say anything else. The ones that has anything to do with the trial. Here. So I do want to say this, guys. If you can't do anything, pray for both sides. That both sides will come to peace with whatever the results may be. And if Takia, I feel as though Takia is innocent. There is a lot of reasonable doubt there, even though people say a 1 centimeter bruise is the cause of her death, of baby Jariah's death. But I definitely want to say this: you can't age it, and you can't say who gave this baby the injury. So, with that being said, me sitting there on a jury pool myself, I would have been like, well, ain't no way. I'm going to have to say not guilty, because even though it is a baby and we need some truth, but it's too much reasonable doubt. If there's enough doubt to say that she was in too many people's hands, it should have never been a case anyway, because she was in too many people's hands. Anyway, hey, Latanja girl, how you doing? Guys, that's all I want to say on tonight. Thank you guys for coming in and supporting me on tonight. If you can't do anything, guys, we're gonna just pray. Just pray all the way until Takia's trial for whatever the truth may be. Let it be in Jesus' name. Do you hear me?
Mama, this guy lost some weight.
So guys, on tonight, we're gonna talk about three different stories. I do definitely want to say this, guys. Angie sent me some information that I am going to speak about. I'm going to research and speak about next week. I have a case where someone sent me, and I need to reach out to their family members, because that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Pray. So yeah, I because it hasn't been talked about on the news, guys. So since it hasn't been talked about on the news, guys, what I have that was sent to my email on today, I definitely want to come on here and shine the light on it. Because this was another woman that the what I have was sent to my email was another woman that was ran over and brutally killed in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so I'm gonna be doing my research on it Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully sometimes next week, guys, I'm gonna reach out to the family and see if I can get somebody to come on here and tell me about a little bit about the person, a little bit about who did they were in a relationship with the person, or something like that. Because Jayla, I'm about to kick you out. Why? So y'all look forward to that. But tonight I'm gonna give you guys some updates. The first thing I do want to give you guys the update on is the update on um, the Janice David. As you guys know, like the last time I went live, Janice. Hold on just a minute, y'all, because I can't. Yes, it's very sad. I got the video too. All right, guys. So Janice David, as we guys know, that was the last live that we did on the other night. Um, Janice David, she was the lady that was killed by this man. His name is Earl Johnson Jr. She, there have been a autopsy done on her, and it says here that she died of smoke inhalation. If I'm saying it right. Um, said because due to the car being set on fire, it was found out that she basically died of smoke inhalation. So she inhaled too much smoke from the fire. So she died of smoke inhalation. It says here that they haven't done the complete full autopsy from what I'm understanding, but this just came out on yesterday. I do want to let you know, y'all guys know that. Thank you, Reese. I do want to let you guys know that I was planning on going live yesterday, but I sometimes I get a little tired, and some of these cases get a little bit overwhelmed. Do you hear me? Um, but um, it says here, um, Eastern Baton Rouge Parish Coroner Dr. Bo Clark said the preliminary autopsy reveals the manner of death of Janice David is homicide. She was killed on social media platforms, stabbed repeatedly, and then the vehicle she was in was set on fire. And that happened, as we guys know, that happened on Monday, April the 18th in 2022. It says here, Dr. Clark said, David's official cause of death is pending final autopsy report results, which could take several months of testing. But the preliminary autopsy reveals smoke inhalation secondary to Johnson allegedly intentionally setting the car on fire. So his sorry ass, just gonna say, geez, his evil ass knew this girl was still living, so she was still living. So he was, oh my God. So poor Janice, y'all. Poor Janice. Jesus. She was still alive or was clinging on to life. And he knew that. And he set the car on fire. So he set the car on fire with her still being alive. What kind of evil spirited, evil minded person is this Mr. Earl Lee Johnson? And then he on a picture throwing up gang signs. Something. And I'm like, you think that what you done, taking a woman away from her children, no matter who she was still somebody's mother. You sat there and stabbed her to death and set the car on fire. And I think he deserved the death penalty. Even though a lot of people may feel like, he might cop a plea, but he deserves the death penalty because he knew what he was doing. He knew the lady was still alive, and her manner of death is homicide and smoke inhalation. Nah. Um, it says here that Mr. Johnson admitted to officers that he stabbed and killed Janice. It says here that he stabbed her over a dozen times just in the head and several more times to the rest of her body. Y'all, this oh Jesus. It says that after that, Johnson allegedly went on a crime spree in the neighborhoods right behind the 3600 block of South Sherwood Forest. Johnson is accused of eventually stealing a car. So after he done set this car on fire, he done stole another car. He stole somebody else's car. Uh, um, y'all, like, come on, you have no regard for life. You had no regard for this woman life at all. You should not be sitting up here in jail. This wasn't no accidental death. This wasn't no death where you shoot and kill somebody. You did not care about this woman's life. You wanted her to perish. You wanted her to die. You wanted her to suffer. That's what he was trying to do. This is Satan's child. This is Satan's child. This is all I can tell you. No, it's no reform. So you might as well. That's who needs to be in the death chambers right now instead of Melissa Lucio. And we're going to talk about her on tonight, guys, because she has 3 days and she will be executed for the death of her daughter, Maria. And we're going to talk about that. But exactly. Say if I tax dollars child for somebody like that want to throw up gang sign, I go hard. You miss jail, but you ain't gonna sit there. You should be. I don't wish death on nobody. But when you have no regard for life, when you sit there and set a car on fire while a woman is sitting there holding on to life, you're an evil kind of individual. Do you hear me? And then, y'all, I do want to let you guys know, and I might be just going too fast, but there is another case in, I think, Louisiana or Texas where a family was found burned in a home. I have that saved, and I'm going to look into that. We're going to talk about that next week, too. Y'all, I'm going to try to bring y'all content, guys, because I do want to let you guys know. Y'all know my son, he plays football, so football season come up. It's going to be hard for me to go live, but I'm going to do my best to go live. And he had football practice. He got football camp, and we barely be home. We gonna be home maybe 3 times out the week, if that. So it says here that so he stole a car before he was arrested and taken to a hospital. So I wonder how he ended up in the hospital. Did he accidentally burn himself? While at the hospital, sources said he started telling the hospital that he had stabbed and killed somebody. Y'all, this man is absolutely crazy. I definitely want to say that, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Let's pray, women. Us single women, we never meet nobody like this. And if we do, child, God show us and reveal who he is, and so we can leave him high and dry. But this is another form of crazy. Do you hear me? This man is beyond crazy. So So it says here when a deputy arrived at the hospital, it says Johnson allegedly confessed and even told the deputy where the car was. And it says here Johnson allegedly tried to set the vehicle on fire, but the fire went out on its own. Stupid. Just stupid. It says here that the preliminary autopsy reveals that it may have been the cause of her death, but further testing is needed to determine the official cause of death. Um, he still remains locked up, and he is charged with first degree murder. Um, Now I do want to, I do want to say this, y'all. We have to be careful on who we date and who we deal with. This man is Satan's child. Okay, because child and Lord have mercy. It's very sad that he sat there and the girl was still alive, probably hanging on to life. Probably could have made it to the doctor. They would have saved her from all those stab wounds. He tried to make her bleed out, and you want to burn the body? Like why, Lord? Why? Um. So it says here, this is y'all. These are his Mr. Johnson's what he went to jail for. So, child, he done did a lot of things. So it says here he was arrested for crimes in 2005, but his sentence did not begin until 2007. His charges and sentence for that incident included first degree robbery. He did that in May of 2005, and he was sentenced to 10 years and served it. First degree robbery, again, sentenced to 15 years and served that. Illegal possession of stolen things, he was sentenced to 5 years and served that. While in prison, he did and add on a few more charges for contraband. So, child, he done did some stuff in jail for contraband. Hey, Trisha, how are you? Happy Friday. Um, he, child, this man did a lot. Contraband. In 2013, he was sentenced to 6 months. Contraband in 2013, he was sentenced to 6 months. And contraband in 2014 was sentenced to 90 days and served that. It says here that he served every day of his sentence in prison and was released full term in January of 2022. He was never on probation or parole. When he was released from prison, he had finished serving all of his sentence. Child, he done did a whole lot. That's all I'm gonna say. I know who it is, G. Girl, don't it? Girl, I ain't never seen nothing like it. I swear to God, I have never seen nothing like this. Like, how are you out of jail with all these? Like, I would have been nervous dealing with him because he got all these records and problems. Like, sir, sir, like, sir. Um, no, that's all I can get. You just woke up from that child. I wish I could nap throughout the day, but these kids ain't gonna let me. Um, child, oh no, child, I don't know. No, he is not out. Um, he is not out. He is still in jail. He served all his sentence previously from all that stuff that he did right there with the contraband and all that. So once you in prison, you get caught in contraband, they sentence you for having that contraband. So he got sentenced to like maybe a whole nother year. He could have been out if he stopped doing stuff. But it seemed like he look. I think he might have been want to get out of jail. Some people. Let me tell y'all something. When some people are programmed just for jail, that's all they know because that's the life they have all lived. I understand that may be kind of sad to say, But some people want to go back to jail because that's all they know, and that's all they where their happiness is, locked up in the cage like nothing, being told when to eat, boo boo, and get up and all that. They don't like the free world. Some people like that, y'all. Yeah, and see, he's gone for the rest of his life, and maybe that's the reason why he did what he did to Jan. I'm not saying what he did to Janice is right, but what I'm saying, um, but what I'm saying is, um, he's institutionalized. He's dumb and institutionalized. Yes, he's dumb and institutionalized, and he will never change. And the way that's maybe one of the reasons why he did what he did, because he knew if he do this to her, he gone for the rest of his life till the day he died. And hopefully by then, by the time that God calls him home, he'll have some kind of remorse for what he did to Janice, because she did not deserve that. I don't give a I don't give a damn, or I don't care what kind of drug binge they on, because I done seen many of people with did drug binges, and ain't nobody lost their life. Now they might be a little geeked and up all night and sleep all day because they don't been geeked, or and broke and trying to steal to get some more. But I ain't never known for you go on drug binge and go kill somebody. Now that's just uh. Oh, you're talking about Mr. Slow. Yeah, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson. Robert. Yes, Trisha. I am talking about Mr. Johnson. But my heart and prayers go out to Janice's family. I hope and pray Janice, she will get justice, guys. That's one thing we do know for sure. He ain't getting out, and Janice gonna get her justice. So, if like I stated Wednesday night, if you're dealing and battling with addiction, please go seek help, because you don't want to be in this position either, dealing with the wrong kind of people. She may just want to get high and have fun, but see him, he went to a whole different level. And so, if you're going to do drugs, seek help, or if you're going to do drugs, do your drugs by yourself, child. That's you only got two options. Do it with people you can trust. And sometimes it's not best to do it with them, because sometimes people will lace your drugs and stuff like that, and people end up with mental illnesses and stuff like that due to the fact that people be lacing people drugs. People do that. There's some evil-minded people in this world, y'all, that has no conscience. Thank God, God gave me one. I do want to thank God on that. Um, but yes, it is. I'm not condoning anyone doing any kind of drugs, but I'm just giving advice for the people that decide that they want to continue to, you know, do it by yourself. So, ain't nobody gonna take your life, and you don't want to overdo it because you could end up taking your own life. But guys, I definitely want to um, talk about that. So continue to pray for Janice, David, and her family. Pray for her boys. I'm still trying to find a GoFundMe for her too. I haven't found it. But once it comes out, guys, um, I will place it. I know they did do a. Oh, there it is. There is her GoFundMe. Let me drop the link, guys. I'm going to drop the link for Janice David, and they haven't. Um, I definitely want to give to that. Only not too many people have given to it. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give to it now. Just give me 1 minute here. And I'm gonna drop the link to give to Janice. I'm gonna God put it on my heart to do it. I'm gonna do the right thing. No one has I don't understand why, but I'm gonna make sure that I scroll this on the screen. Make sure you guys give to Janice, guys. Hold on, let me share this out. Then I'm gonna donate so you guys can give to Janice because she should she deserves to have a proper burial. And what that man did to her was not okay. If you don't even have much, $5, $10, that'll help. But please make sure you give to Janice. There is the GoFundMe right there. So I'm gonna give to it now. Let me get my phone. I'm gonna give to it now. If you guys allow me 1 minute, um, and then I'm going to share it to my Facebook so you guys can the people on Facebook that is able to get on here can actually hear. Um, Let me make sure this is the right one. Okay, y'all, this is fake. This fake. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. People be making them fake. Which one is her GoFundMe, child? Let me see. Okay. No, do not get to that. Delete that comment, child. Let me delete it because that is the wrong one. I have to go search for it because no, that is not Janice Davis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me redact that. Trisha said someone did my little cousin like that. He was smoking with someone and he didn't know and was acting crazy. The paramedics were calling. He bit one of them and they went to jail for assault. Really? I'm sorry to hear that. Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that, Trisha. That's why I said if you gonna smoke, smoke by yourself, child. Um, it's just best to smoke, smoke by yourself, drink by yourself, smoke by yourself. Cause child, let me delete this coming off Facebook. Okay, so um, that's crazy. Or just don't do drugs. Um, that's my best advice for anybody. Don't do drugs, and you won't be in that position. Anyway, so let's move on to the next topic, guys. The next topic is, guys, do y'all remember I did a story on this young man? His name was Tyre Sampson. I'm gonna pull him up on the screen. What? No, not jumping on your mama. Okay, so this is Tyre Sampson, guys. Y'all remember he's the young boy that was last month. He had fell to his death from a Florida drop tower amusement park ride. Um, this was because he was not properly secured in his seat. Um, they said primarily because a seat sensor. So they saying to say primarily because a seat sensor had been adjusted to let the ride operate with a greater gap than normal between his harness and his seat. A forensic engineering firm found in an initial report passing the buck. The findings of the firm hired by Florida to help investigate Tyree Sampson's death that happened on March the 24th at Icon Park was presented Monday by Nikki Fried, the commissioner of the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Service, which is responsible for inspecting amusement rides, and State Rep Geraldine Thompson. They said, excuse me, they said manual adjustments have been made at some point to two seats on the free fall drop tower ride, including the seat that Tyree was in. Um, oh Lord. Um, it says here. presumably to allow for larger riders, which should not have happened based on the manufacturer's guidelines. So what it's saying here is the engineer or the person that was that actually was operating the ride, they adjusted this young boy's seat or adjusted the seats to for larger people like him could ride the ride. Um, it says here that the report by the engineering firm Quest Engineering Failure Analysis Inc. did not say when the sensors were moved, other than it happened after they were initially put in place or who moved them or why they were moved. They said the sensors locations were adjusted for two of the rides. 30 seats, including the seat Tyre used, states the report. It says here that the cause of the subject accident was that Tyre Sampson was not properly secured in the seat, primarily due to misadjustments of the harness proximity sensor. It says here the ride normally will function unless the seat's sensor indicates that each seat's harness, which goes over a ride's shoulder and down into the rider's torso and lap area, is lowered to produce an acceptable gap between the lowest part of the harness and a raised section of the seat front edge. The report reads, but because the sensors for two seats were moved, the ride would operate with larger than normal gaps between the harness and those two seats. So they're trying to say it was a misadjustment. He said, I didn't know that he was 6 feet, 300 something. Yes, 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 yes. And they should have never let him on the ride. Child, that's why I don't be wanting to get on these goddamn rides myself because I'm big myself and I don't be wanting to ride no way. I don't. And for this young man to lose his life because of a harness that was moved, and don't know everybody want to pass the buck on to the hold on just a second. All right, y'all, I'm back. So it says here, so they're trying to say that that was supposed to be for a person larger than him. I guess so. I don't know. Like, I guess they're trying to say everybody can ride. They was trying to fix the ride so everybody could ride. It is. It is, Latanja. It is. Right. And then she sat there and got fired and all, acting stupid. It says they adjusted the ride for bigger people when the ride manufacturer had a weight limit. Right. So they should have never adjusted the seat. So that with that being said, they find the family have a justifiable lawsuit. That's just justifiable. It is justified for the lawsuit. So um, so that basically be what it is. I did, and at first she was very believable. I understand, Miss Latanja. Look, you believe somebody too, but then you find out this ain't nobody because she made herself so believable, crying and all that, and then she ain't excuse me, child. She ain't hitting on, ain't talking about nothing. So, child, um, I know. So the ride should have never taken off. Never. But see, the sensors were adjusted. So the drive, the maybe the operator knew where to put him at. You never know, child. You never know. Um, you never know. I know. You never know. Um, it says here that you can't be over. No, it said Tyre weighed over approximately 340 pounds. It says here the approximate weight limit is 130 kilograms. That's 287 pounds. I would never ride no scary ride like that no more. And y'all don't be getting on these little scary rides like that. I had took my kids to the fair, and they had one ride that shut down that wasn't even working. That was just like this. I said, you know what? They kids don't need to be riding no rides like that, child. Um, Not at all. Exactly. No, he was too. The ride operator was too busy riding, so I know he's fired. I know he is fired. If he, for anything, he is fired. Like, yeah, but what people do to make money, mine is too, child. Stomach too, cause like I promise you guys, when me and Jamela and me, Jayla, and my niece had rode this little boat that right. It's like it goes like this. Two child jumping out this building, and then going back and forth like this, right? I swear that bar was lifting up off our stomach, child. I had Jayla I said, if I may fall, but my child ain't gonna fall. Do you hear me? I'll go before I let my child go. But it may be just because that's why I said you gotta be careful with these scary rides, child. But I'm good. But anyway, um, yes, that is the Tyree. They're playing the blame that they're saying that the ride sensors were adjusted. If they never was adjusted, Tyree life would have been saved. And so my thing is, if his life would have been saved, then it's up to you guys to pay the reprimand, child. Pay these people, pay for the child's death, I mean funeral, pay for it. And hey, beautiful soul, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I know, yeah, it is such a sad case. Um, it's very heartbreaking. My heart goes out to the family because this young man was like just 12 years old, even though he looks older than that. And that's true. I wouldn't be offended if they tell me I'm too big to ride. I might feel some type of way. But if right now how things looking, I'd rather for them to tell me I'm too big to ride than um I swear to God, I'd rather for them to tell me I'm too big to ride than for my life to be taken. So I just have to just play the games at the fair and eat the lemonade, eat a corn dog, eat a funnel cake, and go home. Like usually, I don't ride no rides no way. So that's the beautiful thing about that. So that's that. So y'all, the next thing that I am going to give you guys a update on, and I do want to bring awareness to this, because you don't want to end. Let me say this: you don't. I understand that it is yes, and just to even watch the video, you know what I'm saying, y'all. We done seen. I think this year I done showed so much. This year and last year, I thought last year some of the things that I have shown on my live was last year was horrific. but don't nothing top the cake to some of the things that has happened this year. And this ain't even halfway. This year ain't even halfway over yet, and it's some crazy things that has happened in this world and in these United States. People just have gone mad. Um, for sure. Um, so another thing, guys, I definitely want to talk about. I definitely want to get her picture on the screen. Her name is Melissa Lucio. Um, we definitely want to talk about her on tonight, guys. Melissa Lucio is scheduled for execution on April the 27th. In 5 days, she will be executed. And we're asking Governor Abbott to stop her execution, give her clemency, and do more of an investigation to her death, because there are some key facts that proves that there is more to the story, and that it was some corruption, that they made the police made her do a false.
Come tell me. I
don't know about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Made her admit to killing her own daughter. She was bullied into admitting that she killed her daughter or responsible for her daughter's death. Yeah, look, I went blank, child. Because child,
Don't work. Don't work.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And they said that her daughter all on TikTok, talking about she guilty of killing. I'm like, she might be negligent, but you know what I'm saying. But she ain't no killer. Nah, she had 14 kids, so if one might have slipped under the cracks,
Mama,
ain't no excuse if you're negligent. Now, ain't no excuse if you're a negligent mother. But if you didn't kill your child intentionally, and they said the baby had she had some kind of disorder where she kind of leaned or wasn't walking right, and she fell down some stairs. And she should have took the baby to be seen about, but she didn't. And they said that the medical examiner saying that she beat the baby head in, and the fall that she had, she would have died instantly. Her name, hold on, y'all. Her name, the child's name that Melissa. Now I know I'm saying her name right. Hold on, y'all. Her name is Melissa, and her daughter's name is Mariah. Sorry, Melissa Lucio. And she is scheduled to be executed, guys. And I definitely want to give you guys some key facts that was listed, because the Innocent Project is on her case. Like, yeah, um, yeah, it just hurts my heart to watch it though, because her mama wasn't crap. Her mama wasn't crap, and then the prosecution wasn't crap. Because the simple fact of prosecution, the prosecutor, he sat there and some of the kids said they saw the daughter do this, and there were statements, and he hid those statements, or he didn't mention those statements. And then when somebody confronted him about it, he didn't want to talk about it, and he didn't even bring it up in court. They just said this woman sat here and beat her child. That's why I say everybody ain't guilty. And everybody ain't innocent either. But hell, if there's a reasonable doubt that somebody didn't kill a child, then you need to do more investigation instead of, I understand that everybody you have to go with science, but sometimes medical examiners can get it wrong, and they will admit that too. Yeah, she is from Texas. Let me pull her picture up on the screen. I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know, why people think things that the medical examiners do is law. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I just want to pull her picture up on the screen, guys. Only thing that the medical examiner is doing is determining how a person died and when a person died. But they're just giving a scientific, let me say this, explanation. They can't be 100% sure when somebody dies or 100% sure how they died unless they have all the facts. Wow, and that's sad. Um, woman been sitting on death row all these years, and she's afraid. But one thing about it, if you I pray that Governor Abbott he intervened and he stopped the execution, but she don't deserve to sit in jail. So this is Melissa Lucio. Um, so this is coming from the Innocent Project. So it says here 10 key elements of Maria and why she's innocent. It says here Melissa, her daughter Mariah. Death was a tragic accident, not a murder. Mariah fell down a flight of stairs while the family was moving home on February the 15th, 2007. The toddler had a mild physical disability that made her unstable while walking and prone to tripping. 2 days later, she took a nap and didn't wake up. Instead of taking the steps to learn about Mariah's health history and investigating the causes of her injuries, authorities immediately jumped to the conclusion that she had been murdered and through coercive interrogation pressured Miss Lucio to they pressured Miss Lucio to make a false statement of admitting to her daughter's death. It says here nearly 1 in 3 women are wrongfully convicted of harming children or other loved ones in their care, and only 70% were wrongfully convicted of crimes that never took place at all. Events that were accidents, death by suicide, or fabricated. We got to stop this. Um, these people keep exactly. Some of people keep letting someone is acting, behaving like a real person. Exactly. Child, sometimes you just gotta hold up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody reacts different degree. Um, it says here Melissa has maintained her innocence for over 14 years. It says here Melissa, during her interrogation, asserted her innocence more than 100 times until she was manipulated into falsely taking responsibility for some of Maria's injuries by police officers. The interrogating officer refused to hear the truth that Melissa did not and would not never ever hurt her children. So, watching the documentary, they showed some of the um, clips of the interrogation video. She was like, no, I didn't do it. But if you want to say that I was responsible, okay, I'm responsible. So she was really being kind of like sarcastic. Okay, put it in the chat so everybody can go watch. Um, but she never really confessed to killing her. She didn't. She was like, They was like, well, if you want to go home, then you're gonna have to admit to something. So that's their admission of guilt. You know what I'm saying? But just let guys know that you should never talk to the police about any kind of investigation without a lawyer. You know, so because anything you say and do, as you see, can be used against you in the court of law.
Mama,
Exactly.
Mama,
Tell it, Latanya. Number
Mommy,
3.
leave it like more.
It says here that
Mommy.
Melissa was okay. It says here Melissa was interrogated by police 2 hours after her daughters died. So after her daughter died, she was coercively being interrogated by the police.
Mommy, this is
They said the detective rushed to judgment, and just 2 hours after Maria's death, they took Miss Melissa in for questioning. During the interrogation, officer berated and intimidated Melissa, who was pregnant and in shock from the loss of her child, for 5 hours. They used coercive methods known to produce false confessions. Research has shown that survivors of sexual abuse and violence like Melissa, see, Melissa was, guys, if you didn't notice, you're going to learn this in the documentary. Um, yep. Um, no, it's on Hulu. Um, but Melissa, she was sexually and molested as a child. Um, she was telling her mother wouldn't believe her. It's on Prime too. Oh, it's on Hulu. Um, and Jesus, oh Lord, and she left home early to try to get away from the abuse, and then she had these children early. She had 14 kids. Um, oh Lord, Jesus, my heart goes out to her. So it says here, that Melissa, who is a survivor of sexual and physical abuse, are even more vulnerable to falsely confessing under such coercive conditions. And experts who have reviewed her case, including her interrogation records, have concluded that Melissa was relentlessly pressured and extensively manipulated during the interrogation. After several hours of interrogation, Melissa just said, I guess I did it, and made other incriminating statements to get the officers to end the interrogation. Her inadvertent statement was then characterized by the prosecution as a confession to murder. Two of the officers who interrogated Melissa was present for Maria's autopsy, leading to a biased autopsy process and an incomplete investigation into Mariah's health history and causes of her injuries and death. What does this sound like, y'all? What does this sound like? Latanya, what does this sound like? How many times, why are they allowing police detectives and investigators to manipulate a medical examiner's report? Why are they not doing the full investigation into um, the death of the child and looking to their prior history of their medical records and checking all the facts before you just pinpointing on someone? Y'all just want to put somebody in jail. And guess what? Yes, the baby had a skull fracture because of the fall. But she didn't kill the baby. She had an accident. Hey, the McCray Kings, how are y'all doing? Hey, Joe.
Mommy.
It's
Mom,
crazy.
what's
And her
it?
mama, she ain't, man, look. It says here, false and number 4, false and misleading evidence was presented at Melissa's trial. At Melissa's trial, the medical examiner testified that the bruises and injuries on Mariah's body could only have been caused by abuse. However, pathologists who have reviewed the evidence have concluded that this testimony was false. Y'all, Jamel, go blow your nose now in tissue. Gone. I don't want none of that on my couch. Excuse me, y'all. I know, and she said to be put to death. So it says here that Mariah autopsy showed signs of a blood coagulation disorder, which causes profuse bruising throughout her body. So at the time of her death, Mariah was healing from an injury to her arm, which the medical examiner also said was the sign of abuse. However, a pediatric orthopedic surgeon who reviewed the evidence concluded that the medical examiner testimony was misleading and there is nothing about it. So, I know. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, medical examiner can only determine the cause of death. They can't determine if this is abuse or not. You have to investigate everything before you come to a conclusion that somebody did this. Because this is how mothers end up in jail for abuse when it possibly could have been an accident, or the baby died of asphyxiation. The baby could have died of falling and you didn't know she had a fall. And then the baby turns up dead, and then they're complaining to you when the baby had a cracked skull. You didn't even know the baby had a cracked skull. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's best to do the full investigation instead of just trying to pinpoint it to someone. Do the full investigation. Look at the child's medical history, and look at their tissue slides. Look at everything to determine. Don't just go by, oh, the baby got a cracked skull, so the last person there was with her did. Stupid. I just swear to God. I just swear to God. However, it says here, Mariah's fracture that indicated that it was a result of an intentional act of abuse. This was an extremely common type of injury among toddlers that can result from a fall from standing height. The medical examiner also testified at trial that a mark on Mariah's body was bite marks. Bite mark analysis, who have been wholly discredited since Melissa's trial because it has no scientific basis. Studies have shown that even trained forensic dentists can't agree whether or not an injury is a bite mark. In 2016, in recognition of the fact that bite mark evidence lacks scientific validity, following the exoneration of a man in Texas convicted of based on a faulty bite mark evidence. And commission recommended a statewide moratorium on the use of bite mark evidence in a criminal cases. They're trying to say the woman beat the daughter, Jesus. Exactly. But they always get it right, but they do it just like we are. They can get it wrong. So here it says here, number 5, it says here the state presented no evidence that Melissa abused any of her children. Thousands of pages of Child Protective Service records show that Miss Melissa, 12 children, never said she was violent with them, and no caseworkers never noticed signs of abuse. No physical evidence showed otherwise. And it says here that the state presented no physical evidence or witness testimony establishing that Melissa abused Mariah. of or any of her children, let alone kill Mariah. This is Judge Katharina Hayes wrote on behalf of the 7 dissenting judges from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Court the, that the jury was deprived of key evidence the way that is the point. Miss Melissa struggled at times to provide for her family, but was a caring mother who did her best given her incredibly difficult circumstances. It says here, number 6, Melissa is a survivor of a lifetime of sexual abuse and domestic violence. It says here, Melissa is a survivor of lifelong repeated sexual assault and domestic violence. She was sexually abused by a family member beginning at the age of 6. It says Melissa endured abuse throughout her childhood and through her teenage years. At 16, she became a child bride to escape. However, Melissa's husband perpetuated the cycle of abuse. Still a minor and unable to leave the abusive marriage, Melissa was trapped and developed a substance abuse problem. It says later her husband left her and abandoned her with 5 children. They said Melissa had 9 more children, including Maria. It says here her next partner, who was also abusive, repeatedly raped her and threatened to kill her. A psychologist who reviewed recent testing of Melissa said Melissa has highly abnormal levels of vulnerability to police coercion because of her background. Um, I know, I know. Um, what pissed me off is they had is that she doing they never presented it to court. I know it was the it was that janky prosecutor. The prosecutor, let me tell you something, the prosecution ain't gonna never give, they always looking for the win. Some prosecutors are always looking for the win. They're always looking, um, hmm, I'm sorry, y'all. Some prosecutors are just looking for a win. That means any means necessary. That's even meaning um holding discovery. That means things that could actually exonerate the individual. And see, that's why the prosecutor right now is sitting in jail because of his corruptness. Child. Child, that's how it usually works. So it says here, number 7 says the jury did not hear Melissa's defense, and some of her jurors are calling for a new trial. On April the 12th, attorneys for Melissa filed a supplemental clemency application, including a new declaration from the 5th juror. Melissa's jury foreperson, who joins the cause of other 4 other jurors and the alternate to halt Melissa's pending execution or grant her a new trial where new evidence of her innocence can be considered. It says here, this is from Johnny Gavin, one of the jurors in Melissa's case, wrote it to the Houston Chronicle saying, I am now convinced that the jury got it wrong, and I know there is too much doubt to execute Melissa. If I could take back my vote, I would. In particular, the jury never learned about the extent of Melissa's history of child sexual abuse and domestic violence and how it shaped her reactions immediately following her daughter's death. The trial court prohibited this testimony but allowed the Texas Ranger who coerced Miss Lucio's incriminating statements to testify falsely for the prosecution that Melissa's slump posture, passivity, and failure to make eye contact told him that she was guilty. Child, whatever. Without that context, the jury was undoubtedly was swayed, I ain't even gonna pronounce that word, by Melissa's statement and the Texas Rangers' testimony about her demeanor during the interrogation. The omission of this crucial evidence was particularly damaging because the prosecution had a weak case for capital murder and even weaker case for a death sentence because Melissa had no prior record of violence. Y'all, this just it's sad. Go cut it off. It says here the prosecutor said turn it that way.
This way?
Yeah. It says Trisha said the prosecutor said he didn't want to ruin her daughter's life by putting her in jail. Put it in the middle. By putting her in jail for this crime because she was a child. Well, then he shouldn't have prosecuted no damn body. To be honest. And I remember hearing that. It's been so long. It was like last week or so before I watched it, but he shouldn't have put nobody in jail. He should have just dropped the case. Why these prosecutors or DAs can't admit when they got it wrong and just drop the damn charges? That was the only thing you should have did. Said, I got it wrong. Drop the charges. Exactly. Exactly, child. It is some psychopathic children in this world that will kill, steal, and destroy. Okay? Um,
Mama,
I know. They don't they listen, I'm about to read the rest of it to y'all. About from the innocent. This is number 8. Cameron County DA Armando Villalobos was running for re-election. It's all about a win, honey, and seeking a win, and is now serving a 13-year federal prison sentence for bribery and extortion. It says here, lacking solid physical evidence, Cameron County DA Armando Villalobos presented Melissa's statement to the jury as a confession to homicide and sought the death penalty. At the time, Mr. Villalobos was seeking re-election and came under fire for failing to thoroughly investigate or prosecute more than 100 previous allegations of child abuse ahead of the election. So he's trying to make an example of somebody. Mr. Villalobos, his name may be wrong. I might be saying it wrong, but y'all get what I'm saying. Sought to make an example out of Melissa's case, which helped him to appear tough on crime. So today, the former DA is serving a 13-year federal prison sentence for bribery and extortion. Child. Exactly. That was not no self-defense. Child, I don't know, child. Okay, it says here, Melissa, number 9, it says Melissa case has all the hallmarks of a wrongful conviction built upon a false confession. Nearly all proven false confession cases have the following 3 things in common. An innocent person is misclassified as a guilty suspect. Police coerce an innocent person into falsely incriminating themselves. The police contaminate the person's statement, meaning they fed the innocent person crime facts or specific narrative of guilt. There is no evidence that all 3 of these things happened. There is now evidence that all 3 of these things happened in Melissa's case. It says here, as soon as the police officers encountered Melissa, they misclassified her response to the grief and shock of her daughter's death as indicative of guilt. The officers relied on their presumptions about how a mother should act in this tragic scenario and their gut feelings without thorough forensic examination of the evidence to draw a unscientific presumption of guilt, which then created tunnel vision of investigators and the interrogation officers. Officers use powerfully manipulative techniques, many of which is rise to the level of risk factors for false confession. Um, so what we know today, guys, is which we didn't know 15 years ago, is that survivors of trauma and domestic abuse are particular vulnerable. You know all that. So let's go to number 10. Jamel, cut that down. So number 10, it says here, there is a widespread of and growing support for clemency for Melissa across Texas. Guys, there's over 100 bipartisan Texas lawmakers signed letters urging the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles to recommend clemency for Melissa. Hundreds of anti-domestic violence sexual assault organizations and 18 Texas exonerees have voiced support for clemency for Melissa. More than 130 Baptist, evangelical, Catholic faith leaders in Texas, including the executive director of the Hispanic Baptist Convention of Texas and director of the Rio Grande Valley Baptist Association, support clemency for Melissa. 83 Texas legislators from both sides of the aisle have signed a letter urging the governor and Texas Board of Pardon and Parole to grant Melissa clemency. And 30 groups that work on behalf of the Latinx community in Texas have said they support clemency too. So they need to. So what we need to do, guys, we need to call Governor Abbott and the Board of Pardon and Parole. Add your name to the stop execution. Make sure everyone on Twitter knows her name. Tweet now and use social media to get the word out. And that's what I'm doing. So, guys, make sure you, if you haven't signed, go on and sign the petition. Go sign the petition to free Melissa. This is the number to the Texas Governor Office to call Governor Abbott in Texas to say to stop the execution of Melissa because she deserves clemency. She deserves a new trial. So because she is innocent, guys, I you know, it's too many innocent people. I do want to say this. And that's what I'm saying. How you gonna want this people lives you playing with? So you rather have a win. I'd rather get it wrong and be able to live with myself and have a conscience and have some kind of self-dignity than to get an office that I may not even have for a long time. Because people, even though you might got this right, it might be others wrong. It might be some. If you do this right, if you come back, if I just, oh Lord. No, she shouldn't have been on trial. Just like Takia shouldn't have been on trial. It's so much reasonable doubt in Takia's case. It's so much reasonable doubt in Melissa's case. They're all like the same, and all because of some Texas Rangers and at the time the investigator James Jefferson in Port Gibson going to the medical examiner's office, think they goddamn know everything, trying to figure out did somebody kill the baby, then come running around with a goddamn preliminary autopsy report saying the baby had a skull fracture. That was when you found out that he was healing, then you don't want to go back and say, hey, I got it wrong. You know, let's drop these charges. Did nothing happen to this baby? Well, no, you want to keep you somewhat of a dignity. To me, you don't have, with people who have real conscience and real self-dignity and self-respect, I don't give a damn about no vote. If I got it wrong, I got it wrong. And hey, I might have to be the laughing stock of of the community, but at least I got some self-respect. At least I can lay down at night knowing that I did right instead of laying down at night trying to figure out, scheming how to railroad somebody into making people believe somebody is guilty that is actually innocent just because I don't want to look like a loser. But you may not be losing in life, but you're losing in self-respect. You're losing with God. And you're losing, I feel like you're losing within yourself because you know you're wrong. And you know you're wrong, you know you're wrong. She had a court-appointed lawyer, child. She ain't had no money. She was a mama with 12 children. She ain't got no money. She had a court-appointed lawyer. But she got the Innocence Projects now. And both of her, Melissa and Tequila had both had a court-appointed lawyer. And like I said, guys, we got to pray. We got to pray for Melissa, and we got to pray for Tequila. Tequila to be found innocent beyond a reasonable doubt, and innocent. And Melissa's execution be dismissed. She be granted clemency and get a new trial, and her charges can be dropped. These medical examiners, they got to be investigated into, and they need to stop letting these janky ass detectives and Texas Rangers and just do a full medical report instead of going to the office trying to figure out what's the cause of death. Let them do what they supposed to do, and you do what you do. You investigate. If ain't nothing happen, ain't nothing happen. They have to go back. That's why they say when a medical examiner has to go back and look at a child's medical record, because that plays a part in it too. Child, I can just go on and on and on, y'all.
I'm still not signed in.
But guys, it's we just gonna pray that everything works out for Melissa. Let's pray. Let's pray that she don't get it. She get only takes Governor Abbott or the DA to drop the charges. And that's just, and as of right now, Melissa is still on death row.
And somebody gotta spell my name.
And it's sad, but it's true. She's innocent, and y'all, I don't know. We don't have to wait until the Court of Appeals or something to say something. I hate when people try to manipulate just for a verdict.
A verdict?
Just for to get votes, or try to say, is to crack down on cases, to continue to stay in a position, but you have no conscience, no self-righteousness. You all about you. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I'll try to go live tomorrow. I try to go live tomorrow. If not, I will be live Sunday. I got a lot I got to research into. I'm gonna try to go ahead and just get the thumbnails. I'll have everything researched and pulled out. So, guys, all I can do next week is just go live.
Mommy, will you
y'all,
walk?
I do want to say it's a struggle. It is definitely a struggle to prepare for live and do school, have kids and a life, because child, it's been a, and do other things I got going on in my life, trying to do this YouTube because this is what we're going to be doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and be done with this. Y'all have a good night. Yes, watch the documentary, guys, and let me know what you think. If y'all want me to do, I'll try to watch it tomorrow or tonight. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to go live and we discuss it, the documentary, next week sometimes or next Friday. I'll discuss the documentary with you guys. Let me know. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys. You right, Latanja. It is very, very sad. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow, okay? Or Sunday.